What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Crypto Secret X Place. We talk about crypto, and today we wanted to just look at President Trump's agenda. We want to fact check it, and also we want to look at the whole scope of things altogether, and just see, is it just people's emotions that's out of control, or do we really need to be concerned? I know a lot of us in cryptocurrency have been, we've been wondering about, when are we going to get our break, but as we look at it, we got to start understanding this is a lot more than just about cryptocurrency. It's a lot more than just about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Cardano. It's a lot more than that. As I begin to dive deeply into this, I think you guys will really begin to understand some of the policies, some of the things why people are getting hit hard, some of the things we've got to look at, and some of the things that I see. Some of the things what the government's doing may be beneficial to us, may not. But I think these are just some of the things we got to look at. And then when we look at these things, I think it will bring a calmness to what's going on in the market right now with us. But before we get started, what we got to do. Cue the intro. Well, as you all know, President Trump gave his inaugural speech. He gave an address to Congress, and a lot of people looked at it. It was a lot of protests, some protesting going on. The Democrats were wearing pink to protest President Trump's policies. And some of the policies I was looking at, I was, really concerned because I saw the, cryptocurrency dropping, the market plummeting. But then, the biggest thing I had to start asking myself, there was one question I had to ask myself. And I started looking at just all the presidents all together. When we elect people based upon things that we want to see accomplished, things we want to see happen. For the cryptocurrency market, we wanted to see Bitcoin go to the moon. We wanted to see a $200,000 Bitcoin, $15,000 Ethereum, $10 to $15 XRP, $40 SUI. YouTubers gave all the analysis. We want to make money, period, in cryptocurrency. That's what we do. We've been investing in it for a while. But when a president comes in, it's for them, it's about their legacy, their agenda, and what's important to them. And a lot of times we're not looking at certain things and looking at it from that perspective because you're hurting us where we elected you to make a change for us. We this is why some people voted for President Trump. Then other people voted for President Biden. Some people didn't vote at all. You know what I'm saying? But everybody voted for their own personal reasons or their own personal gain. Some people just voted because people told them, hey, don't vote for that person. Don't vote for this person. But here's the thing. When people start putting in their policies, their legacy, their belief on what will make this country go, decisions are going to hurt this group versus this group. I read a book a while back, and it was called Heroes, Villains. I don't know if you've never read that book, I would encourage you to read it. Because Hero Villains basically shows people the meaning of what a true hero is and what a true villain is. And when you start looking at the concept of that, it gives you a clarity and understanding of why people choose sides. Basically, people choose sides that help benefit them. But what happens when the reason you choose that hero conflicts with the interest of what you want to see get done? That's tough, man. That's really tough. And so I'm going to dive into this thing a little bit deeper. And when you start looking at it, you may see things differently. You may not see things differently. You may say, whoa, I see why they're doing that now. I see what's going on, the hidden agendas behind everything. And so the first thing you got to look at, because it's been big in the news, and one of the things that people have been talking about is this thing with the tariffs. And so I wanted to actually go into what was this tariff thing all about? Why we were experiencing this tariff, and things like this. And then I started really understanding, and this is what I'm saying. I was looking at Trump and I'm saying, why would this guy put tariffs on all these countries like this? And you know, knowing that this stuff gonna plummet the market, it's killing crypto. I mean, like, come on, people. Man, it's crazy. But then here's what I started digging into and I started seeing. So now, first thing I wanted to look at the US debt. But I went back and looked at what Trump was talking about with his agenda. Trump's biggest agenda here is all about American power, uh, bringing companies back to America. I think him as a older male and part of a certain time zone wants to see where, you know, none of the major companies, the big boys, are leaving America. They believe in the American made thing. You know, I don't know if you remember, it was a commercial. It was called Ford Tough, and American Ford, and you know, and this guy's more like a business guy who looks at finances, who looks at what can make uh, people rich. Okay, so when we start thinking about that and we start looking at that perspective, what is his main agenda? Is his agenda uh, with America becoming the savior of them all? You know, going to other countries and helping them out? Nah, he could care less about that. His biggest thing is about making America um, the most powerful country in the world. Okay, so that's his dream. Like, can I make America like it was when the Rockefeller and all them boys and all that? That's one of his agendas. So when you look at U.S. debt, it's a challenge for him to see if he can get this debt down. So let's go into it because I want to show y'all some things, and it's a lot. I got a lot of information for you, and I think after you see this, you may not be so worried about crypto because I see some things that, but I do see where they're giving us up. They're kind of telling us, you know, which way they're going with this cryptocurrency. And we may get some information about this after you kind of hear what I'm talking about. You're gonna get a deeper understanding of what's going on with the that summit is coming up on March 7th. So let's go ahead and get in this thing, y'all. And also make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. That helps the channel, that helps the algorithm grow, and that helps get this information out to more people who want to see this. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, man. I like my okay, and I'm going to share this with you. Let's go ahead and get this US. There we go. All right, let's look at this presentation right here. The U.S. national debt, an overall trend, cause, and implications. We're going to dig into this a little bit. When we actually get into this, the first thing you want to look at is what is the U.S. national debt over time. In 2020, we were around roughly over $20 trillion. 2021, we went up to right over 25 trillion. 2022, we approached the 30 trillion mark. 2023, we went over the 30 trillion, about 32 roughly. In 2024, we almost approaching 35 trillion. Of course, the U.S. national debt over time is actually growing. The largest budget, when you looked at this, and this is when now I'm going to tell you some things about Doge. Social Security, almost at 1.2 trillion. Medicare, right over 1 trillion. You look at the defense spending, we're not spending that much. Roughly over 0.75. Interest on debt, we got right over 0.5, and then other is 1.25. So that's what we have in the largest budget in items. And this is all off current data that's actually, pulled up. Now, world debt comparison. Look at the USA, China, Japan, Germany, and UK. You see where the US debt is over $30 trillion, okay? Compared to the world debt comparison. We're pretty high, All right. And you see that. And I'm going to get more into it. I'm just going through it. So now I wanted to get into that real quick, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going a little bit more, but that gives you an overview of what our debt is like. Now, let's get into this thing with this tariffs. Now, when we talk about tariffs, and I want you to see this real fast too. Let's get into this. Boom, let's get back into it. Boom, let's move mine over here. And let's pull up our tariffs. Let's see, we got that. Boom, not there. Let's see, there we go. Okay, now let's look at the tariffs. When we look at the tariffs, we basically, let's see, and get my 6 up here. Okay. Winners and losers in the tariffs and the Fed's, the cuts. This is going to be analyzed, the economic impact and trade tariffs of interest rate. This is just PowerPoint. This is a lot. I did a lot of digging in this, just kind of get some understanding of it. Okay, so now who the winners and who benefit? Number one, U.S. manufacturers going to benefit with the tariffs. Exporting countries, real estate and housing, stock market, in the U.S. government. Now I'm going to show you how that happens. The losers are the U.S. consumers. That's us. The U.S. farmers and exporters. Yep. The U.S. dollar, bankers and lenders, and the Federal Reserve. Those are the people who are going to get hurt. Now, who benefits? The U.S. manufactured tariffs, but they raise the cost of the items. Okay. Exporting countries, Mexico and Vietnam gain marketing shares. Real estate, lower rates, lower mortgage costs. Stock market, growth stocks benefit U.S. government debt costs. Okay. Who gets hurt? Consumer, high prices on imported goods. Farmers, retaliatory tariffs reduce exports. So that means, other countries are not going to be buying this stuff. The U.S. dollar, lower rates, weaken currency, because not many people are going to be taking the U.S. dollar. And when they do, it's going to be, not valued as much there. Bankers, they have to lower their rates, which reduces their profits. And the Federal Reserve, it is a political nightmare for the Federal Reserve. Why? Because it forces the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates. Now, and I will explain that to you in depth. So now, you remember President Trump said he wanted to lower interest rates. Jerome Powell has been very reluctant on reducing those interest rates. So now there's a war going on two fronts here. We got a trade war, and then we got a war between Trump and Powell. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Trump and Powell, they have a war going on. Okay, what happens next? Feds may cut rates if the economy slows down. Okay, what is going to slow the economy down? When you put tariffs on things and things go up, people are not going to spend that much money. That's one. So now there is a lot of pressure on Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. That's one. Number two, the tariffs on other countries. I'm going to show you where the exports, here's what I found out, and this is all fact check. I found out that roughly we were actually importing at over $100 billion more than more than what we are exporting. So therefore, we're spending out more than we're taking in. In other words, it's like this. Me and Joey on the standing on the block, I got a bag of M&Ms. He got a bag of Skittles. All right. He got a big box. I got a big box of M&Ms. So I tell him, I need eight boxes of Skittles from him. Okay. And he gives them to me. And in return, I got to pay $1 for each one. Now I'm expecting him to buy 8 boxes for me, but he says, no, I only need like 4 boxes from you. So I give you 4 boxes of M&Ms, buy 8 from you. So I have the $1 each one. I give you $8 and then you give me 4. And we keep doing that. And so all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I'm buying more from you than you buying from me. So you know what? Okay, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to buy the same amount you're buying from me, if you don't want to get more of what I'm doing, I tell you what, I'm going to raise mine to $2. And so now when you buy my 4, it's going to be equal to your 8. And then what happens is Joey gets mad at me and say, you know what? I'm going to tag 50 more cents on mine. Well, fine. No problem. It'd be what it is. I jack mine up another 50 cents too. And so now you got a trade war going. And now it's like Joey goes back and tell all these people, don't buy no more M&Ms. I go back and tell everybody, don't buy no more Skittles. Forget it. It is what it is. Matter of fact, we want Skittles. Y'all make them over here. That's what's going on there. Short-term winners, real estate stocks. Long-term winners, consumers, farmers. Market uncertainty remains high. It's going to remain high. Okay. So now, what's going on with the market? What's going on? So here's what's going on. The biggest thing, and here's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand when you view this video. I want you to view this video in an open mind. I'm not saying support this, because there are some things that's getting hit hard because of these tariffs. And here's the thing, when you and I'm gonna explain something else to you about the energy bill, and that's another one. And that's why, now that part right there, a lot of people getting hit hard. And I'm gonna explain to you why. But when it comes to the tariffs, what the tariffs basically does is it forces companies that can go out to other countries and get cheaper labor and not have to pay the minimum wage and all these regulatory things that they have to pay over in the States. They can get by with it. It's just like this. In certain places in the States, you can film, you can do movies, and you don't need license. You don't need all that stuff. You can just come in and just do what just get your film going. In other places, you got to get permits and all that stuff. And so what happens is some people won't film there because it costs them. Like, for instance, in some places you have like a union, and you like, what do they call it? I think SAG. Like, you got SAG, you got to pay the actors so much, but they can go out and get just actors that's not SAG, or they can go places where it's not a permit required and make the same movie at a cheaper price, and then still get the same benefit of making that movie with the same type of money incoming. Well, what happens is now when you can go out, when I have to ship the stuff here, I got to pay 25% more to get it here to one of the biggest consumers. So instead of doing all that, you know what I do? I just come on over and build it over there. And then you telling me you're going to lower the stipulations on me having my company there. Then on top of that, I don't have to pay 25% tax. Yeah. So what happens is now you got more companies coming in. But in the immediate short run, a lot of people get hit hard because now the price of things is going to go up until the companies are able to come over. And then once that companies come over, the benefit of that is now you lower the rates, and things are actually made here where you can actually get them. Now, just as I say that, I'm going to play this one video for you. And it's going to probably knock me off the screen, but just go ahead and listen to this real quick.
Breaking news straight to the White House. President Trump delivering remarks on that new $100 billion investment from chip makers. Let's listen in.
Well, pretty much a business. Nobody's done what he's done. Very, for those of you that are into that world, you would say, wow, he's a legend, but he is a legend, and it's an honor to be with you. Very great honor. Thank you very much. Mr. President. Thank you very much. Welcoming from TSMC, which is the biggest there is at a level that you can't even calculate, frankly. CC Wei to the White House for a very historic announcement. This is a tremendous thing for our country and hopefully for his company. We're also pleased to be joined by Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and White House AI and SIP, the crypto czar David Sachs, another two very highly respected people. It's great to have you guys involved. And David, thank you very much for coming on. David is sort of the king of intellect in that world. We have some good people. Today, Taiwan Semiconductor is announcing that they will be investing at least $100 billion in new capital in the United States over the next short period of time to build state-of-the-art semiconductor manufacturing facilities. I think mostly it's going to be in Arizona, which is what I understand, which is a great state. I like it because I won it, but I won most of them, actually.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Trump be bragging a lot, man. But anyway, what happened is now Taiwan is bringing up $100 billion into America, and they're going to build those companies there. They're going to build the chip that makes it there. So what does that do? That creates more jobs. Then that's one company. Apple now is going to be building companies over here now. Okay, so that's the part of the tariffs that's good, that companies are going to come. The bad part of the tariffs is the suffering we got to go through with the initial part of it. So it's going to be a hard hit. It's going to be a hard hit. A lot of us we're going to be like, in the beginning, it's going to be pretty rough. And will the market go down? Some of the sentiments of the market may go down. Some of the sentiments of the market may not. But AI, and I'm going to get into that with the AI too. When you start looking at that, you're going to be like, wow. But in the beginning with the tariffs, it's not something that we all want to see. I mean, you just don't want to see it. But then again, more businesses come in, more companies come in. It really will be good. I think if they can get companies in more rural areas, I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's a possibility because you need land to build. It could be beneficial. Well, I'm not going to say it could be. More companies over here would be beneficial because like a lot of companies did leave the states because of that, because of strict regulations. So that's just something that's just part of it. So we just have to recognize that, deal with that. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tight right here, right now. That's just part of it. So that's enough with the tariffs. If you start to understand the tariffs, and then you're looking at the inflation rate. Now, when tariffs come and people don't spend money, it forces Jerome Powell to lower the interest rate because money's not going. So here's the thing. I started asking myself the question, and this is what a lot of people ask themselves. And I really asked myself the question. My thing was, okay, who does the U.S. like? I hear them always saying, "Oh, our kids are gonna be in debt" and all this stuff. And I would hear that, and I'm like, man, who are we gonna be in debt to? Like seriously, like why can't we just print up money? And when you start saying that, I'm going to explain to you. I want to put this in layman's terms. And here's the thing. This is not a hype up. This is not a hype up video going to tell you go buy something. This is just an explanation from my research of what's going on. And I hope this can provide you some clarity on a lot of things, because some of these things, I don't think people really understand what's going on. And a lot of people talk out of emotions, and the emotions are based upon what I was expecting, I'm not getting. So now I'm emotional. And when you're emotional, you just start spewing out stuff. You never check anything, because the biggest thing is the need I need from you, I'm not getting that met. Or the need that of what is supplying something for me, now you're taking away. So now you become enemy number one. And for a lot of people, like in the crypto world, people were like pissed, man, because it was like, yo, it's like, what's going on, man? Everybody was on crypto saying this is going to be good. And now it's kind of like we got a pro crypto and all this, man. It don't look pro crypto. It looks horrible. We got our bags pumped and then they lower the bags again. So it's a lot. So let's look at the debt. The debt held by the public. Foreign countries is about 30%. Those countries are like Japan, China, United Kingdom, Europe nations, and it's all stuff I'm just researching. I'm reading off to you. So we got foreign country debt. Then we got U.S. where we borrow from banks, which mutual funds, pension funds, and insurance companies. So these are local, these got to be like local entities of people that the U.S. is borrowing money from. Now, back in the days, if you look back across the, when the United States was first made, like they had some major families, and you got to go way back. But the countries was lending money to the states. So these countries, these families became very powerful. Like, you know, about the Rockefellers and all these different companies, they became very powerful families, and they would lend money to the states. All right. And so now the Federal Reserve buys the U.S. Treasury securities to influence monetary policies and add interest rates. Okay. Intergovernmental holdings. So the money that the government owes itself, which that's why it's not, when I look back on the debt sheet, it's at Social Security Trust Fund. So that's the money they owe the sale. That's the money they owe you. In other words, we took the money from you and we put it in this fund over here. And that's why people kept saying, I was like, man, how you mean Social Security going to run out when we're paying in Social Security? Because y'all taking the money and can't replace it. So that means you have a debt. Medicare trust, Medicare and Medicaid, Medicare trust funds. That's take care of our elderly, military and civil service retirement funds. So in other words, they're saying this is what the government owes people because you take out money for this. Like you take out money out of people's checks for this. So if you're taking this money, you can't take that money and go buy something else, right? So that's 20 to 25% of the total debt. Okay. So now, why can't America just print money? Like, why can't you just turn on the printers and print money? Well, here's the reason why. Now, some of it still don't make sense. It's not going to make sense to people because people are going to sit back and continues to say that, you know, this is America money. So, I mean, what difference does it make if you print up an extra few $100s and just get it out there? All right, the U.S. printed more money without increasing the actual goods, right, and the services in the economy. The value of each dollar would decrease, okay? Prices on everyday items like food, gas, housing would rise sharply, reducing purchasing power of people's savings. This happens when in places like Venezuela, Zimbabwe, women in Germany, when excessive money printing led to hyperinflation, price doubling. Okay, so what does that mean? When you have inflation, people got more money. Okay, so when people got more money, they go out and they spend more. When they spend more, stores can't get the items fast enough before people start buying them. So, like in other words, if the demand was on TVs, like 65-inch TVs, and people got crazy money in their pocket, they just start buying them. So the stores got to hurry up and get them, and they can't get them fast enough because there's so much money being printed out, and people got extra funds like just floating around. So what happens? The store starts raising the price because they're like, yo, this is in high demand. People spending money. So now the TV goes from $150 to $250 to $350. So now people have more money, the price goes up. Now, the US dollar and the world reserve currency, meaning many countries and business will rely on it for trade. So the loss in trust of the dollar. And the US starts printing money recklessly. Trust of the dollar would collapse. Investors would dump US bonds and assets because wouldn't have any. They're like money just floating over there. So, I mean, in other words, they're saying what you're giving us is useless. You're just giving us paper. And we're giving you goods, and it doesn't mean anything because you're just giving us paper and it's just floating around. So there's no use us doing it. So it has to be scarcity. All right. This could lead to a financial crisis, making it even harder for the U.S. to borrow in the future. Okay. So that's one of the things. Now, interest rates would surge. All right. The Federal Reserve, to control that, they will have to raise the interest rate. So how does the interest rate lower inflation? So what happens is when the interest rates, when inflation spikes, the Feds, which is Jerome Powell, will be forced to raise the interest rates. making it more expensive for businesses and people to borrow money. All right. So making it more expensive for businesses to borrow money. High interest rates will slow down the economy and can lead to a recession or even a depression. So when people aren't spending money, then there's no demand for anything. So now stores have to do what? Lower prices. So now, in order to get it, the feds can't raise the rates because nobody's spending money. There's no demand. Everybody's just kind of sitting there. So instead of going to the movies or going out to eat, they're going to buy a Happy Meal and sit at the house. Nobody wants to go to games. They're not spending any money in the games because the ticket's too high. Stores, they got to lay off employees because they don't need to work because nobody's spending money. So it's a balance in this thing. When you bring the tariffs in, it's a two-sided sword that what I see what's going on. First of all, I'm trying to get all the major companies to come back to America and build here. That's one. Number two, I want Jerome Powell to lower the interest rates to get the economy going. Jerome Powell says the inflation is too high. So I tell you what, I'll impose tariffs and I'll stop people from spending money. I'll kill the market. And now it's pressure on him because if he keeps the interest rates high, you're talking about a slowed down economy like crazy. And then not only that, unemployment rate goes up because now businesses can't afford to pay employees. So now what happens? So now people aren't working. You don't need as many workers if you don't have a demand. So now you see the whole thing. So you see how things can get out of whack. The U.S. has tried to print this money before. During the pandemic, this was during President Trump's run, the U.S. increased money supply significantly through a stimulus package. That's why people get worried about the stimulus package. Americans get happy because why? We get more money. What do we do with money? We spend. But this contributes to inflation crisis of 21-23, where prices jumped significantly and the feds had to aggressively raise interest rates to control it. Remember when all other countries were printing out money and giving their people like $1,000, $2,000? When they started doing that, people stopped working. They were like, there's no need to work. I can get this money. And so now there has to be a balance. And so that's why the interest rates were raised. That's why we went to a longer bear market, because from the pandemic, threw things out of whack. It took 2 years to get over a pandemic. Then it takes another couple of years to get the economy back right. And so that's that. Now I got some more information to give y'all. This is going to be this is going to be one that you really need to look at, guys. All right. Instead of printing money, they issue what they call treasury bonds, borrowing from investors. Who are investors? Social Security, retirement funds. They just borrow money from there. Raising taxes increases revenue. Okay. But if you raise taxes when inflation is high, interest rates are high, man, you got a completely out whack government. Like everything's out of whack. So in other words, you got to turn the pipe off on something. Something's got to be turned off. And no matter how you look at it, if we all feeding from different pipes and you turn this pipe off, you're hurting me. You turn that pipe off, you're hurting them. You turn this pipe. So what do? You make a choice and you go with it. So be it. This is what it is. And so now you have people in the uproar, people happy because somebody's benefiting. Now, major companies are going to start benefiting. Why? Because now they don't have to face that much more regulations. They probably don't even have to pay no taxes. So I would come in here. I would come in the States and build because now I have to pay taxes to come over there. Are you telling me I don't have to pay taxes for the first 7 to 8 years with my company there? So I have to pay no taxes. Then I get off on the 25%, no tariffs, and I can build there? Okay, no problem. Be ready to roll. It works for a while, but things change. All right, the bottom line, print more money does not solve it. It destroys the economy. It's like trying to put a fire out by throwing gasoline on it. You see what I'm saying? It gets things out of whack. That's basically all it does. High interest rates make borrowing more expensive, and nobody wants to borrow when there's high interest rates. Reducing spending slows down, prices increase. Inflation happens when too much money is chasing too few goods. So now we got tariffs. So now what happens is things go up, but if you don't have much of it and people are not spending no money, it's going to be rough. But if we still consume and we still need those things, that means we're keeping the inflation high. That means the price is going to go up. All right. All right. When people in business spend less, demand drops. The companies can't keep raising prices. Slows down the price increase, inflation. All right. So are you getting, I hope you're getting a better understanding of this. Again, this is not a hype up video. This is an explanation. This is talking about, this kind of leads to what we're doing in crypto. And then stay with it because there's more I'm going to give you, because they have also given us some insight on what's going on with the summit. I got that information for you too. All right. So that's what we have going on right now. And so I'm gonna jump over now, because we talked about the interest rates, we talked about the US debt, but now here's another thing I want to talk to you about, because now this has a little bit to do with Doge, the Doge and Elon Musk. And so when you talk about Elon Musk and what's going on there, that's taking a hard hit. So now let me explain something to you. When President Biden took office, President Biden had his own agenda, and his agenda was about saving our planet, from global warming. And, that was his policy. That's what his legacy. He wanted his legacy to be. You got to understand this now. Legacy, when the president has his own legacy about what he wants to do, some people are going to agree with it, some people aren't. But his legacy was about protecting the globe, like global warming and natural energy, and not destroying our planet. And those are the things. Trump's biggest thing is financial wealth in America. Period. Financial wealth in America. President Biden protecting the global warming and all that stuff. Now, so here's where we come in. You remember when President Trump said this thing about Joe Biden gave away a lot of territory, a lot of land. He gave, he just gave it away. And at first I was like, what does he mean? Like he gave it away? So I started digging in that, and now I fully understand what was going on there with that whole thing. So this is what I'm doing here now. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. This is Biden's offshore, and this talks about Trump when he's talking about his famous saying, "Drill, baby, drill, drill, baby, drill." That's what Trump was saying, right? Drill, baby. He said that last night in this speech. Drill, baby, drill. So let's get into it. Let's talk about that real quick, because this is going to open your eyes up to a lot more stuff here. And then after this, I'm going to get into the crypto part of it, because now you're going to see some things that they're giving us signs on that. So do I think it's over for crypto? After you hear this, you'll see why I don't think it's over for crypto. I think we're getting ready for a big one. Trump just dropped something to us prematurely. Now, was he provoked to do that? Did they ask him to do that? I don't know. But before I go any further, let me take this small commercial break, and I'll be right back.
Make sure you hit that subscribe and hit that bell notification, as it helps the algorithm grow. And if you want to follow me on any other platforms, you can follow me by typing in Crypto Secret X. Now, let's talk crypto.
Okay. So now let's get into it, where we talk about Joe Biden and President Trump and their differences, because this is big. This is really big. I think this is something that we all have got to see. And when you see it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. So let's go ahead and let's get into this real fast. Now, when we look at the Biden offshore drilling and Biden's offshore drilling ban and Trump's opposition. This is analyze the policy economic impact of the political response here. So this is what I'm showing you right here. So this is what I want you to see. Now, Biden's offshore drilling plan issued an executive order banning new offshore drilling on oil and gas drilling. Okay, covers about 625 million acres, including East Coast, Gulf of Mexico, and the Pacific Coast. This is what Trump was talking about. He gave away the land. This is what he was really talking about. Aligns with the America the Beautiful initiative. There we go. To conserve 30% of U.S. land and water by 2030. Okay, aims to protect marine ecosystem and address climate change. Okay, so those are the concerns, because now, trust me, now those are some concerns: climate change and 30%. Here's the next one: environmental benefits, reduce the risk of marine life, energy, may lead to impact, economic consequence, legal, So now, next part of that is when we go here, we look at the energy independence. Restricting offshore drilling could increase reliance. Restricting it makes us more reliant on foreign oil. Job losses impact 1,000 of workers in the energy sector. Okay. Reversal efforts. Trump issued an executive order attempting to lift restrictions. Legal debate, questions about presidential authority to reinstate my camera. Come on, there we go. It reduced the risk of marine life, prevents oil spills. This is the economic and environmental impact here. Economic consequence, potential loss of jobs in the oil and gas industry. Legal considerations, challenges in reversing the ban through executive orders. So that's what some of the things people were talking about. Trump's opposition: restricting offshore drilling could increase the reliance on foreign oil. Again, what did I tell you Trump's main policy is? What does he want to do? Bring everything back over here. He don't want to spend. And now I'll show you what a deficit was when it comes to that. And this is why. I don't want to get the oil from all these other countries. I want to get the oil here in America. That's what we want to drill. Job loss. Thousands of workers in the energy sector have to leave the country to go work in other places because we don't have jobs here. Reversal. Trump issued an executive order attempting to lift restrictions. Questions about whether he has that true authority of reinstate drilling rights. All right, now, here's the impact of Biden's offshore drilling. Okay, so now when we look at this, I want you to see what I'm talking about here. Impact of Biden's offshore drilling. Impact of Biden's offshore drilling, energy independence. And this is an impact score of 1 to 10. All right. About a 6. Job market, he affected about an 8. Environmental protection, over an 8. Legal complexity, it's about over a 6. It's the impact of the offshore drilling there. Okay. So now let's look at this part right here. Conclusion: Biden bans aligns with environmental conservation goals, but has an economic trade-off. Trump opposes the ban, citing the risk of U.S. energy independence and job loss. Legal battles may determine long-term status of offshore drilling in the U.S. Future administrations may either reinforce or roll back their policies. After Trump goes out, we may get a president comes in and say, I'm not doing no more offshore drilling. It stops. May get another president come in and say, you know what? Let's keep it going. But in the next 3 years, that's why he's trying to put it in place so fast for him, because his thing is, let's get the oil being drilled over here in America. Now, oil spills into the water, killing marine life, and climate control. That's some of the things what environmentalists say. So you see the battle going on there. It's a battle, and it's based upon what a person wants to see take place to make a country great again. That's just what Trump, when he says make America great again, that's his goal of doing it. You see, Biden's goal was to preserve the land. Now, in order to do this energy thing, they've got to cut government spending. Now we get into another part of it, to what programs are the United States government paying for that we can afford to cut. Now you get into another sector. This sector is where other people are getting affected. Now, where do we start cutting spending? That's the part right there that has that when I started looking at it, I was like, oh, now I see what Doge is doing, and I see how it's affecting other people. And when you start seeing that, you start saying, whoa, now I see. So let me go into it where it says, I think it's U.S. debt presentation overview trend calls. Let me see. God, I had all that here. But I know this. Education, social reform groups. And I saw all this on when I started researching. Let me see here. Oh, I got all this stuff here. Let me see. Winners and losers of tariffs. That's not what I know what I gotta do. I gotta go back out. Oh, here we go. This is what I wanted y'all to see. Yep, here we go. Now y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. Now this is the part that people really are getting affected on. And it depends on which side of the fence you're on this, man. But Trump's energy bill and tax impact. Okay. Now here it is. It aims to reduce tax and lower energy costs, right? It expands the domestic oil and gas production, repels certain green energy tax credit, and claims to stimulate the economic growth and create jobs. All right. How does this tax plan actually lower taxes? Okay, number one, it's going to eliminate tax cuts, eliminates taxes on Social Security benefit, tips, and overtime pay. Okay, this is how he plans to lower taxes. Okay, auto loan interest deductions for Americans-made vehicles. Auto loan interest deductions for American-made vehicles. Okay. Energy cost reduction, expand oil and gas drilling to lower prices, new natural gas pipeline to increase a supply within the states. Business-friendly policies, okay? Lower energy cost benefits, manufacturing, and in the transportation sector. Reduce regulations to encourage investments. That was it. Now, here's the downside of this. The $4.5 trillion cuts may be paid for. $4.5 trillion cut. Now, here's how they're going to pay for it. Could increase federal debt if not fully funded. So here's the potential spending cuts on. And see, y'all tell me if y'all haven't seen this. Healthcare, education, social services. Education, healthcare, and social services. Those cuts. Social services, DEI. You got a lot of them. Educational spending, school systems, healthcare. I think Medicaid. I think there's one of them. They've been cutting those. Anything that's like social services, and you can look it up, anything under social services, okay? Repealing green energy tax credits could harm renewable sector. Energy prices may not stay low. Global markets still may determine oil prices. OPEC products cut or geopolitical events could drive prices up. Okay. Now, what is the projected impact of Trump's energy bill? Let's see that right here. Okay. So we're going to get right here, sharing tab. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. All right. Let's go 6. Oh, man. Let's go see. Here we go. All right. When we look at the tax reduction, it could be an 8. Energy costs up. Federal debt impact, it depends, around a 4. And environmental impact, it's not going to really have any environmental impact as far as the energy bill. But it's tax reduction is going to have a strong impact on that. Okay. So that's just some of the things. So now here, final verdict, will it lower taxes? Yes. In the short term, tax cuts will put more money in taxpayers' pockets. Lower energy prices could reduce household costs. Long-term concerns, higher Fed debt could lead to future tax increase or spending cuts. But in conclusion, Trump's plan could provide tax relief for lower energy costs initially. Long-term risks include national debt growth and reliance on fossil fuel. Future administration may alter reverse parts of this policy. So we may see that too. We may see that. Impact on American household will depend on energy markets and budget trade-offs. So here's where I need to clear this up for you. You got to understand agenda. Okay. Now, the one part of that, which I do see where the tariffs come in, because they're trying to put in more businesses inside the U.S. Other part of that hurts is now all this stuff we're trying to buy, price is going to go up. Okay. Certain goods. Second part of that, inflation rates, we may definitely get the cuts now, but how long is this trade war going to last? We got to weigh it out. Or the businesses come back to America, then really in other words, if I was buying my Skittles from Joe and I said, man, forget it, man. I got a store right here in my neighborhood to sell the Skittles, so I ain't buying from you no more. So what it causes is strength in a country, but then relations may not be as good. So if you really better make sure you're strong as I don't know what, because if we ever need you, you may not come to help, because I basically cut it off. I basically said, man, I'm strong enough that I could do it all by myself. I don't even need y'all. And who knows, that means you have to strengthen military forces. Yeah, your military force got to be strong as I don't know what. So you got to put money in military force. You got to put money into fossil fuels and putting businesses over here. But social reform groups to help people in need is going to suffer because that's what's going to suffer. And then you look at, so now you hear people say, well, they should just get off their butts and go. Some people may be in a situation where they really need it. Some people may be using the system. I think that's where you see a strong impact of them going after Social Security, fake checks and all that stuff. And looking at programs like, of course, and it's hard for some people to understand this at the same time. And I may say some people may get upset, but here's the sentiments from African Americans in the workforce. Basically, many of them feel like you won't get an opportunity to get that job because some people, because of how they were raised, would think this person is inferior to me. I'm just being honest right here. I just got to be honest. So that's why you see that concern of the DEI. On the flip side, other people say, well, just go build your own. So that kind of creates a division there amongst people. The younger generation, the real younger generation, they don't really see it like that. I think it's more the older generation that sees a lot of that. The younger generation is a lot different now. So what I think they're doing is trying to kill the old generation's ways of thinking. When actuality now, we know it still exists on both sides, both sides. It still exists now. You can't ignore that it don't exist. But at the same time, I think I don't think I know. They're trying to kill that thought, and they're trying to put into the younger people that, just work hard and you'll get that opportunity. Now, we know there are cases where people do get fair opportunity at things, and we know there are some cases where you don't get a fair opportunity. And you can just look around, you can see that. So you can't ignore it. You really can't ignore that, even though you say, but you can't ignore that. And so some reforms, you're gonna see a lot of turmoil. That second part of that, I think you also have to get into a method of where you help yourself. And when I say you help yourself, it's going to cause for people to have to actually band and pull together in order to provide for their group. I'm just being honest with you. Just going to have to fight and band together and learn to work together and learn to invest and learn to do certain things with money and put it in the right spot. You're just going to have to do that. And once you do that, I think you can get a lot stronger. This is a different. This is a totally different life. But I just think we just have to find ways to work together. We also have to understand that God helps those who help themselves. So you gotta learn to work together. You gotta learn to band together. And then when people work together, other people can't try to destroy it because they are working together. So it's a lot there. It's a lot. So that's why you feel that tension there. You feel that tension. And I hope I explain it the best way I can. But the energy bill calls for cuts. So we're not only looking at somebody that's in president that's not looking for instant gratification, he's looking at more legacy. And so his legacy, when he says make America great again, I know a lot of people make it out to be a racial kind of thing. And in some aspects, it could be interpreted that way because of some of the programs you're cutting. And from that perspective, you got to look at it. And here's the thing. Let's get real, people. Let's really get real here. When you look at America as a whole, the country of America, it has been in the past one of the most powerful countries in the world. And I'm not this is like one of those delicate subjects you start talking about because we're dealing with people. But here's the thing. In our country, there's always been that race thing. The race thing is always been there. And here's the thing. No one actually really owned the place, but we either brought here or came here, and we all had a part in building the country. And I'll just be honest with you, as slaves, or and you had a part in building the country. People had both parties had a part in building the country, and to ignore that sometimes it's almost like a slap in the face. But at the same time, we also got to look at it is there's also equal opportunity here now. And are you taking advantage of it? And this goes back to all the school sectors, everything. Are you truly taking advantage of what's here today? And here's what I mean by that. In the school sectors, are the kids fully taking advantage of what's there? Or are they treating it like, I don't even care about it? Are you banding together as a group, putting money together and putting money in investing in back, and then making sure whoever's over the money put the money in the right spots? Got to ask yourself that. And then the second part of that is dialogue has got to be, you got to talk more. You got to talk more and you got to get in more dialogue. You really do. And so that's part of it. I could go in a lot more depth of that, but no matter how you look at it, when it comes to politics, one side or the other is getting hurt, and then one side is benefiting. But in actuality, I hope this thing will come together where it helps the masses of the people. Now, what I do say, more businesses, more companies here will be great. I hope they can spread those companies out throughout states, on that end. The second part of that, I will hope that if we are going to get rid of programs, that we will either have a true analysis and breakdown to where we're making sure we are helping people that need the help. If you understand, helping people that need the help. And if we are going to move back to, like we said, a country under God, one nation under God, let's truly go there. Let's not just make it words. Let's truly go there now. Okay. But one thing you got to understand, if you truly believe in God, God is always in control of everything. Always remember that. I don't care who, there's no man stronger than him. So you got to understand that. So that's part of it. Again, I told you, this is a different kind of live. Now, this is not that pump up, let's go. It's different. And it's just this channel. So if it's helping you, hit the like and subscribe button. Now, let's get into the part where a lot of y'all have been wondering when it comes to cryptocurrency. So now, as I started going into cryptocurrency, many cryptocurrency investors were really happy when Trump got in office, because the only thing the crypto investors thought about, to be honest with you, was our bags are going to get pumped. We're going to be millionaires. We're going to go to the moon and everything is going to explode. And we did. We ran like crazy. But then all of a sudden, tariffs come in, market starts crashing, coins start going down, meme coins are launched. Liquidity is going out. Now people are angry, they're mad, they're upset. But I'm going to give you a little light here. Here's a little light when it comes to the when they start talking about the crypto. So here's the thing I went over, and I wanted to see, I started looking in about the crypto market, and then I came across some information about President Trump's cabinet and what they hold, the cryptocurrency that they hold. Is this, and I'm not sure if many people have been talking about it. Some of us were talking about it because there, some people follow wallets. But here's what I found out, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to go to this particular screen here, and this could be something that's going to blow your mind. It blew my mind. I can tell y'all that. Let's see. Let's go here. Let's get that PowerPoint up, and let's open this up real fast. It really blew my mind. I ain't gonna be honest with you. Because when I saw it, I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So let's see. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Now, let's get into this. Trump's cabinet cryptocurrency holdings. This is analyzing Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum investments. Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum investments. What I didn't see was XRP, which XRP, I know. Listen, this is just what I saw. I'm just fact checking, and I didn't see Cardano. All right, so here's what's happening there. All right, overview. Several members of Donald Trump's cabinet hold cryptocurrency. All right, let me take this off, man. I'm going to take that off here real fast. There we go. All right, let me see if I can pull that over here a little bit. There we go. All right. Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum are among the most popular choices. Notably, there were no holdings of Cardano or XRP. This analysis explores the reason behind these investment choices. Okay. All right. cryptocurrency holdings in Trump's cabinet were these 3 cryptocurrencies. You can fact check it too. Holdings and based upon millions, this is what we saw. The focus on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana indicates confidence in the mainstream of cryptocurrencies. The absence of Cardano and XRP may reflect regulatory concerns or marketing positioning. The investment could shape the future of cryptocurrencies policies in the U.S. Political figures holding may influence market trends and investment confidence. In conclusion, the cabinet members are invested in major cryptocurrencies. The choice of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana suggests a focus on established assets. And we know Cardano and XRP are established too. The lack of Cardano and XRP holdings may signal regulatory market skepticism. The investment could impact future crypto policies and dynamics. Okay, now, I know when I saw this article, I'm going to fact check. I knew XRP gave President Trump 11 million XRPs. So there's some holdings there. Charles Hoskins, I always kind of mess up, has been now named, when President Trump said the strategic reserve, he named it. Now, here's what was fired right back after that. But before I do that, let me play this one video for you, and I want you to listen to what he just said. He's telling you about the panel. Okay, now listen. This is a video a while back. Pay attention.
The main thing it does is it forms an internal working group with the goal of making the U.S. the world leader in crypto. So it's not one specific action. It's basically authorizing and creating a working group with the goal of achieving that objective, right? And the members of this working group are going to be, there's me, there's the head of the SEC, the Secretary of the Treasury, and all the agencies and departments that have an interest in crypto. So we formed this working group. I'm actually chairing it, or I will be. And again, the goal here is to identify and make recommendations that the departments would then take back and they could execute. And just again, with the goal of making America the world capital of crypto, as the president said at Davos today.
All right. It's David Sachs. Okay. Now, President Trump named 5 cryptocurrencies. This summit, when they meet, they're going to discuss the difference in assets, investing in entities of personal interest. They're going to have to really discuss some things before they go back and really dig and come up with these policies. Now, who's going to be in that meeting? I'll play it for you. You heard it right there. You heard it. Okay. Now, who's going to be added in that meeting? I believe XRP and I believe Cardano. They're definitely going to be added. All right. Now, I also believe Ondo's going to be in there. I can bet you any amount of money, anybody dealing with AI is going to be in there. Elon Musk just said, and they kind of blocked it, he wanted to do for profit OpenAI. Said no. Get ready, because I don't think cryptocurrency is dead, but I think they're laying a blueprint on the cryptocurrencies that's going to get ready to run. And I think while pissing some people off, which he did, I think he gave us, because here's the thing, he only put it on Truth. I didn't follow Truth. I got on Truth, and that's a whole different sector of Twitter that I didn't know. But the thing about it is, I think he gave some insight on who's going to be in that meeting. Now, when they put those things together, when they come out with, everyone knows it's going to be cool to put Bitcoin in the strategic reserve. Countries are already doing that. There's nobody that's the owner of Bitcoin. That's why people are trying to buy so much of it. Okay. But here's the issue and concern. When you buy the cryptocurrency and you hold it in a strategic reserve, when you sell it off, are you manipulating the price? Because right now, cryptocurrency, because of the big entities in there, this price is manipulated like crazy. It is being manipulated like never seen before. And they hold it at a certain price. It's been completely manipulated. But when you put these things in a reserve, what type of control are the people who have CEOs and executives of their company going to have to give up? Like, you don't have to give, because how can you just pick this crypto over this crypto? I know they're saying real world assets and case usage, but there are some cryptos that have some good usage. And there's some that just pure crap. Who determines that? That's where it gets thick. And that's where, lawsuits can start flying, various things, or you're going to have some really strict regulations on to comply with the United States government. And here's the thing. If I'm inside the meeting, I can say, hey, this is where we beat them at. Like, I'll give you an example. You tell me there's going to be a job opening for, let's say, a CEO, right? It's 3 job openings. But here's the thing. Each one of them have their own different strength, and each one of them have their own weakness. So once I come in, if I sit down with all the big tech and big CEO people, and I tell you, you need to have these as the strengths, and we qualify as number 1 in that particular area. Okay. What's your strength? We qualify here. What's your strength? We qualify here. And we all get in our strengths, which we are the top dog in, are the only ones you hire in. Then automatically I qualify to get the job. I have an inside scoop on what's being needed. The other cryptocurrencies are going to fight and say, we don't have equal opportunity, because they know what's coming up. They know what you need. So they're going to have to be real strategic in how they make this thing work. You can't just throw out, these are going to be our main ones. And I know President Trump did it, but you can't really do it like that. Now you understand, and I hope I'm painting a picture for you on a lot of stuff. If you got the inside scoop on what's being qualified for the job, and on the outside, I don't know. It's hard for me to even get in with you, because I don't know what the true requirements are, what you're looking for. That's why I say a lot of times jobs are already, like when people hire somebody, job opening comes, they already know who they're going to hire, because usually that person's already been contacted or told what's needed in order to get that job. It's already happening. They do it now. It flies away. It flies around now. Most people know they have a job before they even got the job. And then there are some jobs where people don't know, but it's very few like that. In some instances, certain jobs, they know they got it before they got it. They just don't say anything. They've already been either interviewed, they've already been courted, they've already been told, hey, you got it, get ready, we're bringing you in. Okay. And so that's the part that people on the outside really fight, because they struggle, because they said, I wasn't even given a chance. And then you hear, hey, it's gonna be what it is. So you gotta look at it. So when it comes to cryptocurrency, it's rough for us right now. Okay. But here's the thing, and this is the one thing that I think Warren Buffett said it best. Buy when people in fear, sell when people in greed. Now, I went to my stock market. I went to my stocks, right? And I was pulling them up, and I was listening to all this stuff being said. And as I was looking at my stock, I had the green arrow going up. So either I invested in the right ones, but I was waiting for them to go down because I wanted to buy more. Because here's the thing. One thing about the market, like I always tell you, the market's going to do what? It's going to go up and it's going to go down. Now, are you prepared when it goes up, and are you prepared when it goes down? The thing about it is when you overinvest, overbuy, FOMO in, panic sell, when you mess up. When it goes down, just hold the horses, man. And then if you're going to take a loss, take the best loss you can. But a lot of things have a way of coming back. And then that's when what? When we saw Cardano, and this is what I'm trying to tell you, this is the sentiment of people. When he tweeted it out, everybody went crazy and started buying. That was when everybody bought, Cardano. Everybody sold it, Cardano. They were like out of it, or they kind of moved out. When he said that, everybody jumped in. Cardano went up 61%. 61. People FOMO'd in because they was like, oh my God, it's going to go through the roof. If you DCA and buy now, you got dry powder. You don't panic. You really don't. If you invest more than what you can afford to invest, you panic. When you invest just a little bit, what you have is a fear of not having enough in, and you miss it when it goes up. Listen, just invest what you can afford to. That's period. When you do that, you don't kill yourself. But here's the problem. We don't invest. We spend our money haphazardly, or we spend it in stupid ways when we could have actually took some time to save it, cut back on some weekend dates and cut back in on some partying, cut back in on some buying this and buying that and save it. Then you got dry powder. So now you have the money or also move when you need to move. If you're going to be an investor and you're investing for a financial freedom, long-term gain, you got to suffer a little bit now. Listen to what I just told you. If you're going to invest in a long-term financial gain, you're going to have to give up a little bit now. Suffer a little bit now, celebrate a lot longer later. Or you can celebrate a bunch now and suffer for a little bit later. But that's the thing, man. Anything in life, you're going to have to give up something to get something. Something's going to give. You can't make it all happy. Only thing people want is a fair opportunity. And what a fair opportunity is, a fair opportunity. But with all that being said, just remember one thing. Always remember this. God is always in control. And if you do that, your emotions don't take over. They really don't take over. Because if you trust that God is in control, if you're a believer, now if you're not a believer, you're only left to what your own philosophy of life. That's it. You're only left to what is up here. So you're a what they call them things. You're a whatever. You're a C person. Whatever I see, that's what I believe. If that's how you got through life, that's you. What's got me through life is the optimistic side that no matter what happens, God is always in control. It's always got me through. And it's going to get me through this now. And so I'm going to continue to invest. I'm going to continue to hang in there. And I'm going to continue to trust. I wouldn't have found out about this if it wasn't something that was intended for me to find out. So I found out about it. He taught me about it. He showed it to me. And if there's one that I know about loss, because at the height of meme coins, when they came out, which I was just now new to meme coins, believe it or not, whether you want to believe, I lost $273,000. Yeah, I did. But it can all be given back again. But that's it. That was a growth process. But do I like harp on that? No, I just keep moving forward. And at the same time, as we keep moving forward, and if you ask me how, I can tell you, some of you already know, but it was just a meme coin. And my thing is, I thought the meme coin was going to run forever. I just told people, hey, I'm going to do a meme coin and I'm not going to sell anything. And I didn't. And I watched it go down and down and down and down. I still own some of the coin. I just look at it. I used to get like, oh man, I cannot believe that. like when you start thinking about times. But at the same time, if he gave it to you once, he can give it to you again. It's just a process of understanding. But I just value my word more than taking the money. That was it. So I think when you stand on something, you may look like you lose in the beginning, but you'll win in the end. I just believe that. And so you just got to stay grounded, man. Stay grounded. Continue to keep investing, and don't panic. Don't put all your money in at one time and go crazy. Just don't panic. Don't panic. Relax. Things have a way of working itself out. Okay. All right, y'all. I know this was a long one, but I just think I just think at this particular time, I just felt the need of talking to you about it just after my digging and my research, and this the basic. I get on the show and we talk about a lot of stuff. We talk about things like meme coins. We talk about things like just different things. But at the same time, as I looked at the show, I just wanted to see. My thing is bringing more meaningful stuff to you, more factual stuff, more meaningful stuff. I love meme coins. I think meme coins was a great thing. Now, do I think they're dead? Eesh. But I do think they just need more usage. But at the same time, I just think that as long as we just continue to keep investing and stay with it, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. So just keep rolling. Stay strong. Like I always tell you, never learn how to swim without jumping in, and you'll never climb a mountain without stumbling. This is Chris from Crypto Secret X. I am out.